Have you ever been watching on social media? Maybe you've been listening to a podcast. You come across somebody in real life and they're super rich, and you're like, what does this person do? What is it that they know that I don't know? Like, what is their secret that they were able to accomplish this, that they were able to be at the top of their game, that they were able to go from this to that? And you're like, is there a secret? Is there something that the rest of us don't know that they know? And I'm going to serve it to you straight with this brand new series of rich people's best kept secrets, because I am now one. There is a secret. There are special strategies. There are hacks. There are nuances. And the great news is you can apply these directly to your own life, regardless of your age, your industry, the amount of money in your bank, your background, and they will absolutely transform you. The only difference is that a lot of people won't do the things that I'm about to share with you in this series. Everything from money to fear to confidence. I'm covering it all. And that's really the differentiator. Are you going to follow through and do it? Or are you going to just simply listen to the episode and continue to blow things off that could get you where you want to go in life? Well, on my watch, that doesn't happen. We're not about that life at Project Me. Let's go.
If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multi-millionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash making advice. Now let's get to it.
What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, coming to you live from my bed. Yep, we are broadcasting the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between right here from my bedroom. Why? Because we can, and it's a shit show that's going on downstairs. So this week, as you're listening, all the people are coming in. My amazing ProjectME dream team, all the people are flying in from different countries all over the place for my 2-day in-person Abundance League Business Mastermind. So we've got deliveries coming. We have furniture being moved. I have really cool custom designed succulent arrangements that I co-designed, which I'm really into plants, by the way. There's lots of things that if you're new to me, you definitely don't know. And the more you know, the more you're going to go, wow, this bitch is whack. And I am whack. And guess what? So are you, or you wouldn't be interested in listening to the show. Anyone who doesn't vibe this show just isn't crazy enough. Seriously. Like, and that's okay. There's a lot of basic pedestrian white toast shows out there that do incredibly well, which blow my mind. And I'm not throwing shade. I'm just blown away by it. I'm sure you've dabbled or you've listened to other podcasts. Maybe you've listened before this and then you get to this show and you're like, oh my God, where has this been? I'm thrilled to see all these reviews you guys are writing. One, because I want you to get my work less while making more printable guided workbook course. It is going to be $177 and I'm giving it to you for free right now. It's almost over because we're doing a big celebration for my birthday month. And then for the show, hitting top 15 worldwide of all podcasts. There's millions of podcasts. I mean, I was thrilled in the top 50. Then we got to top 30. Now we're top 15. I'm like, basically, I'm kind of famous now. No. Famous for what? I do not know, but I will take it. in order to be able to get this guided workbook course for free. And now, of course, Chubbs is barging in here. I have French doors into the bedroom. If you're watching this on ProjectME TV on YouTube, you get the beautiful privilege of seeing behind the scenes, which can be rather entertaining. And for those of you who are visual learners, I do highly recommend you subscribing on YouTube, because then you can type in comments in real time when I ask questions or have you think about something or give you an exercise. You can do it right then and there, because the reality is you will tell yourself you're going to go off and do it later in your beautiful journal. And when you have time and you have space, and then you never will. One of my tricks as a hardcore procrastinator is you have to do it like now. It's now or never. It's not, you have to really look at it like that. You're either going to go throw out the trash now, or it's not going to happen till later. If you're like, oh, I really need to clean that mirror in my bathroom, or I really need to organize my jewelry because it's all over the place. If it really is that much of a priority to you, do it now, because Neverland is not a fun place. It just puts us in that procrastination loop. So pause this episode if you have not left a written Apple podcast review yet of the show. And if you don't know how to do that, you can Google it. It's easier to do that way because it gives you visuals, because of course Apple Podcast doesn't make it obvious. Apple Podcast is the only platform right now that you can write a review on. On Spotify, you can tap the 5 stars, which I super appreciate. But for this special giveaway, it's for Apple Podcast reviews. So write one, leave your name or Instagram handle in the review, take a screenshot of it, and email it to us at support@projectmewithtiffany.com. Those simple instructions, it takes 30 seconds, are in the show notes. You can swipe up, or it's in the description right on YouTube. And then once our giveaway is over, we will be emailing them out to you. And this is my first ever workbook. I have workbooks in my signature program and my paid programs, but I've never released ever a workbook. And I had this idea to turn it into a guided workbook course. So not only are you getting a workbook, you're getting audios and videos from me for free to do this. So listen, I'm not trying to sell you on it. You can also wait and pay me. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that money. Given the history of my career, and just a reminder, I was a former TV newscaster, NBC, CBS, CNN, and now obviously a podcaster where I get to swear, which is much more fun, and look like a disaster and still serve you on a very high level, which is so ideal. I used to be so jealous of any of my friends, or when I would go get get at radio stations and they would have radio talk shows or be like a morning host on a radio show, and they look like a disaster. They're in their pajamas. I was like, God, that sounds so refreshing to be able to do that. And there weren't podcasts back then. And so when that whole thing came out, I was like, I knew it was meant for me, but I had all of my mindset shit get in the way. It took me 10 years from me having the strong desire to have a podcast, to actually executing. And I refuse to let that happen to you on my watch. If I had a me back then, it would certainly not have taken 5 years. Maybe it would have taken me 2, because I'm a stubborn ass, but it would not have taken 10. But given that career that I had and the career I have now, I have the privilege and had the privilege of interviewing some of the most wealthy, high profile, successful people in the world. And I will tell you, there are many secrets, habits, and actions that make you rich. And that's why I want to give this series. So we're going to go through everything from money to self-confidence to dealing with fear and how rich people do it. Because if you want to create freedom level wealth, if you want to create options and have lifestyle changing cash, you want to learn the ways from the people who've done it. You don't want to guess. That's not a shortcut. You want to learn from the actual people, which is why people pay me, which is why people listen to me. I am a shortcut because you don't have to do trial and error and figure it out. Plus, you also get the accountability. By the way, my birthday bonus sale inside my Project Me Posse business coaching membership is ending soon, and there won't be a sale in that membership of mine for a long time. So you want to take advantage of it. You get, when you join, my $297 content creation made easy course bundle. And there's only a few spots left. I keep this membership at an intimate size. So in integrity, I can call it a group coaching membership. This is not a membership with thousands and thousands of people where you get lost. We recognize you, we know your name. The members get to know each other really well. You guys can go on each other's podcasts. You can help each other grow and support each other. This is much more than me showing you how to go from $0 to $15,000 a month in your business, no matter where you're starting from. It is a support group truly for the wild ride of going after your dreams, because you likely are the only person in your family or in your friend group doing it. Being an entrepreneur, starting a side hustle, it can be very isolating because even though you may have trained your various algorithms on social media to show you all sorts of entrepreneurs and boss babes and boss dudes and all this stuff, so it can seem like everyone's doing it, they're not. This is a very, very small percentage of people who are crazy enough and to dare to dream big enough to do this stuff. So it can feel very isolating. And I don't want you an entrepreneur island. I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years. I've spent a lot of time on the island, and it's enough to drive you crazy. So this first episode in our series, I'm going to focus on money because truly I know that's what you want to know. And in everything I teach, we prioritize generating fresh cash into your business and your life. That's number one priority. Why? Because we can use that cash to then reinvest in other areas without having fresh cash coming into your business. I don't care if you're starting from zero or you're in 7, 8 figures. You don't have a business. You have a jobby, a time and energy sucking hobby. This is why on Instagram, I literally show you my receipts, my bank account. I want you to see the net revenue. There's a lot of businesses and even big businesses that will show you their projected revenue for the year. It's like, okay, well, projected doesn't mean it's happened. They will tell you their sales for the year. Just go watch Shark Tank and they'll call these people out. Oh, well, we've had $4 million dollars in sales from our special widget. And it's like, okay, so how much money did you spend to get those $4 million dollars in sales? Like, what's your net? And they're like, well, we're actually at negative $572,000. And then they're like, well, what in the hell? Why is it costing you so much to acquire a new customer in order to get a sale? So don't be so impressed by the shiny, is what I'm saying. I would rather you start out by generating a solid $2,500 in cash a month for a new business. That's much more impressive to me than you saying, Tiffany, I got $20,000 in sales for the first month, but you're in the negative or you've made nothing. And I've made this mistake in my first business where, oh my God, that was terrible. I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. I got a letter. If you're in the US, I'm curious, I'm wondering how they do this in other countries. If it's probably never as dramatic because, you know, we Americans hold the cake for the drama. But I got a letter, and you get a letter from the government here. You're like tripping, okay? You're like, it's usually not a good thing. And I was like, okay. And I wasn't used to getting this because I was an employee. Like that shit's done for you. And I owed $5,500.77. It was something crazy like that. And I was like, oh, this is a mistake. Like this, how is this possible? how could I owe this? Like, I don't even, it's not like I'm rolling in the cash over here. I had no idea. How would I know? I wasn't an entrepreneur before. I had no idea. I felt like I was working 10 times harder than I did in corporate and then less to show for it. And I thought I made the biggest fucking mistake. Because even though, yeah, I have my own business, that sounds fun. Let me tell you something. 15, 16 years ago, you were considered an absolute quackadoodle to start your own business, especially as a female, especially as a single female, especially as someone who already had a six-figure, very like, I guess you could call it sexy corporate career, right? In the pharmaceutical industry. Like, oh my God, like who would leave that? And literally the best benefits you could ever get, straight up facts, to do something like this. People thought I lost my mind. And you know what? I did lose my mind because I wasn't happy. Why am I getting so emotional? It doesn't matter. I am. I think because I know that you listening, you're not happy. Ooh, yeah. Wow. This really came up quick. You're not happy. And you want to be happy, and you've been settling for a long time, and you've been trying to justify it for so long. Whether you have a business you're not happy in, whether you are in a jobby job, or you have this long established career, you're like, I've been a realtor forever. I've been an accountant forever. I've been in whatever project management forever. And you're not happy, but you feel so stuck in it and you don't want it for your life anymore. And you don't know how to get out of it. And that's why you're here. And I promise you, there's a way out of it. I didn't know either. And I didn't have a me cutting a clear path. Yeah, there were people like, which I'm grateful for. There were people, of course, like Oprah, Tony Robbins, but these were people who weren't really like accessible, right? And they were so far ahead. Their success and their wealth and their notoriety was so far from where I was at. They weren't really like relatable. So I like was like, oh, I could kind of tell myself, well, they got lucky. This was a one-off. And one of the things I really want to hit home more than anything from the series, from the show, I'm a fucking disaster. Like, even if you're not into YouTube, I mean, I do want you to subscribe because I guess that's what we're supposed to say. I mean, I do want you to subscribe, but like, go and see what's going on here on this episode. I'm a disaster. Like, really, I am. Now, I'm not a book smart person. I have complex PTSD, so I that mimics a lot of similar things to ADHD. I can be very forgetful. I can lose my train of thought. I can lose my place. I could be reading a book and read the same fucking paragraph 20 times over and not know what I just read. Do you ever do that? And I'm like, what the fuck am I even reading? I have anxiety. I have depression. 70% of the time I don't feel like doing anything. And I'm not saying these things to like beat on myself. I'm saying it to let you know, like, I am no different than you, but I do take action on a few different things. And notice what I said there. I take action. And these four things I'm about to share with you when it comes to rich people's best kept secrets, when it comes to money. Every single person I've interviewed, interacted with, been friends with, had chance meetings with, and I have met two billionaires, but one of my longtime old mentors is worth over $100 million. My stepfather, who has passed, very, very wealthy man. And before you start going, oh, I'm sure Tiffany inherited all that money, he did leave me $10,000, which was very sweet. But okay, that's it. 10,000. I mean, I'll take it. That was nice. I went on a trip to celebrate him, but I didn't get any of that. It would have been nice, but I don't. He's my stepfather. It's okay. Like, it's none of my business. I know this is a random rant, but if you're waiting to inherit something, or you're like, I know I'm going to inherit this someday, this house, this whatever, you might not. That's not a plan. That is not a business plan. That's not a profitable life plan. I don't, it's not, it's not good. It's none of your business how someone spends their money. And you have no idea. There's so many people that like they might have a restaurant or a family business. I've coached so many people who come to me who inherit like a family business. They're like, oh my God, I thought this was going to be like a plug and play and I was set. And they end up inheriting so much debt they wish that it was never left to them in the first place. I want you to first, this is the first thing. This isn't one of the secrets. This is like a bonus. Okay. I want you to first commit. I'm going to take charge of my wealth story, of my money story. I'm not waiting on a rich husband or wife. I'm not waiting on some company to hire me. I'm not waiting on someone to choose me. I'm not waiting to inherit something. I'm not waiting for someone to rescue me. I'm I'm taking charge and accountability and responsibility for my money story. Whatever you want your money story to be. And it gets to be whatever you determine it's going to be, truly. So if you keep telling yourself, oh, I don't need that much money, like I had someone write on a comment on one of my recent TikTok videos. It's also at ProjectME TV. That's all my things. And they wrote, I made a comment like, if I'd known this sooner, my net worth would truly be like, my net worth is, if you count one of my houses, 6 million. My net worth would be 50 million. If I had a me sharing what I share with you this directly in a communication style that I could actually absorb, that felt fun to absorb, that cut out all the bullshit and the circle talk. Yeah, for sure. And this person wrote, well, who in the hell would ever need $50 million? That's just pure greed and nonsense or something like that. And I love writing back to people's bullshit. Like I don't lose sleep over it. I think it's ridiculous. It's like it's someone's money story just being projected. And I go, well, one of my main charities is I build safe houses for women and children who've been sex trafficked, like I was sex trafficked. And the more money I make, the more of those I can build. And if you do some research, you'll know that in order to rescue women and children from sex trafficking rings, it is extremely expensive. Like a shit ton, like tens of thousands of dollars per person expensive. So the more money I make, the more things I can do like that. Now, granted, I just sounded super cunty probably when I said that to you, but it was like, that's someone's money noise, right? So my point is, your money story, we also get to change it. So you got to take responsibility for that right now. Okay, let's get the show on the road. I have 4 secrets for you. Oh my God. My laptop from 2013, by the way. We're about to upgrade. My laptop is balanced on a Tempur-Pedic pillow. I am balancing my microphone on my stomach and holding the bottom of it with my hand. And I only have one hand available, and I like talking with my hands. This is what's going on here. It doesn't need to, please don't complicate it. You can make a lot of money literally looking like this and being like this. If this is your vibe. If it's not your vibe, you can make it in your own way. All right. I feel like that should be a song. You can make it in your own way and be cray. All right. The first thing I made notes for this too. Rich people's best kept secrets about money. Guard your energy with your life. We have a finite amount of energy every single day. Some of us have more than others. I'm trying to find a new way to word it, but I am getting healthier and healthier every day, but I do manage an invisible illness that does flare. So when it affects my hormones and stuff like that. Some people have other conditions. Some people I mean, there's some people who have had an organ transplant. Some of you have a bunch of fucking kids running around that are insane. Some of you have major drama in your life. Some of you have mental health conditions like I do that can affect your energy from day to day. So we only have so much energy. So there's something I learned from the invisible illness community on Instagram. It's a really good analogy for you, and I want you to use it. And some of you actually need to physically do this. I need to do a video on this on TikTok for you guys. They're called spoonies. Okay, so the theory is, again, we only start each day with so much energy, and every day is different. You might have not slept. You might have extra stress going on. You might have a tummy ache. Your kid might have projectile vomited everywhere at 3 a.m. We don't know. So literally take spoons, and each spoon represents how much energy you have in a day. So I would first start out by, if it's an ideal day where you have a shit ton of energy, is it 10 spoons that you have? Maybe you start with 10. And then you really need to ask yourself, how much energy is this activity going to take from me? Remove a spoon or two. How much energy is it going to take me if I do this phone call with this person right now who's going to be venting and trauma dumping on me? Do I have it in me, or am I really going to give one of my precious spoons away today when I woke up and I only have 4? So I used to actually take out spoons. I'm very visual and tactile, so it was helpful for me. I had them next to my bed. So I would take, and you can use plastic spoons too, but I would take 10 and I would wake up and assess what's my level. And I'd be like, let's say I was at 6. So I'd go, okay, what are my main things I need to do today? Like my main 3 things that really, really need to get done, not just a want, but like they need to happen. And then I would assess and attribute how many spoons, meaning how much energy those things are gonna take me. And you can also add a spoon back too. So like, for example, as long as I'm not feeling depleted, I'm feeling a little depleted today, probably because I have excitement and nervousness around everyone coming to my house for the mastermind this week. So my in-person 2-day Abundance League Business Mastermind is going down, and you want to see the behind the scenes, go look on my Instagram stories where I'll be sharing it. And I'm nervous, excited, like not stressed, but it still takes energy away from me. So what can give me energy back? Working out, laughing with a friend, coming on here and podcasting, doing something I love, connecting with you gives me energy back. So you need to be insanely discerning with your energy. I want you to guard it with your life. And this will naturally help you create better boundaries around things. So you're not just this yes person all the time. You're not volunteering at work for all the things. You're not the person volunteering to do all the shit in your mommy group and your friend group. You're looking at the pile of laundry and asking yourself, does that laundry have to get done today? Is the cost of me not doing this laundry really that high? Or can I push this laundry onto another day this week where I have more spoons, where I have more energy? So you've got to be fluid with stuff and not so rigid. I know there's some things like, of course I get it, like contractually, or when I make a genuine commitment to a friend, to a client, unless I'm like really sick or something crazy happens, right? I'm going to follow through with that. And we all have deadlines. But guarding your energy to preserve it, and also intentionally finding ways and experimenting with ways to increase it. Now, this is going to fucking blow your mind. You're going to have a shooketh moment with this. Guess what? Resting and having fun ends up seeming like you're being unproductive, but it ends up giving you more energy, and therefore you end up being more productive in less time and make more money. So continuing to push through is the law of diminishing returns. So, for example, a couple days ago, I went to record this episode and I was fried. I came back from my birthday trip in Turks and Caicos. I'm sure there was some jet lag there, plus all the prep and all the things running through my mind for my, 2-day in-person event. Then I have the birthday posse sale going on, and, I have just lots of stuff going on. And I was sick earlier in the month. So there's a whole mishmash. And it felt like it would be so heavy and so much work. I didn't have it in me. And I kept trying to gear myself up to do it. And then I kept just burning more energy. And I caught myself and I went, you know what? The best thing I can do if I'm genuinely trying to preserve my energy and get more back is to let it go and rest and stop chewing on it. And so I did. So I really need you to do that. It can sound trite. It can sound almost, the stuff might sound even almost like too simple to you. Like, oh, there's got to be more to it, Tiff. There's got to be more, to being wealthy than this. No, it actually, the shit is simple. You know what's hard is you following through and doing it and prioritizing it and also believing me that this is the way, because your brain wants to come up with some bullshit that it has to be hard in order for it to be a really good secret, because you have this belief that in order to have life-changing option level wealth, it's got to be something very complicated and difficult. And that's a lie. It's not true. The difficult part is believing it and continuing to show up regardless. Okay, second thing. The way I look at anything, business, professional, personal, you name it, if it does not generate joy for me or income, I'm out. That blunt. And I want you to ask that about everything. Not to say that there aren't things we have to do that are kind of net neutral. Like we talked about laundry. That's kind of a net neutral. I don't fold. So I have my house manager folds. I can throw shit in the washer and dryer. I kind of feel weird about someone washing my dirty clothes. Who wants to do that? Especially my gym clothes. I don't know. I feel weird about it. But she folds for me. It's like the only thing I fold is money. Okay. So a net neutral is okay, right? There's just, some stuff we have to do, cooking yourself dinner. That could be a net neutral. So if it's not generating joy or income, not approved, truly. Or if it's something that still needs to get done and you really don't want to ask someone or hire someone, then it just moves down the priority list. So I have to go to Costco, and while a lot of people delight in it, I don't delight in it. It is overwhelming. It can cause me anxiety. I have had a panic attack in Costco before. And I don't go to Costco alone. So that's my point, is that I do need to go because I don't want to send someone there for me. There's certain things that I want to see and touch there. So I'm going to go, but I set it up so that I'm not going alone. I'm going with someone. So I have that help. But is it on the top of my priority schedule for today? No, it's not on the top because it's not joy or income generating. So it's going to still get done, but it can be done with the remnants of my energy. I want to use my best prime energy of the day, those prime spoons, on things like what I'm doing right now, talking to you, on things like creating a video, reviewing a contract, working with my one-on-one clients, serving inside my posse membership, coming up with new ideas for programs. That's the stuff where we want to put our prime energy. Talking on the phone with a friend and laughing our asses off, meeting someone who I've wanted to meet for lunch for a long time that is going to produce joy for me and the other person. So we prioritize that stuff and put the other stuff towards the end of the day, but keep asking yourself that. And then go further. If you come up with something that isn't joy generating or income generating, and it's not a net neutral thing, why the fuck are you doing it? Sometimes we just get in such the habit of doing things and it seems normal and we do it without questioning it. And before we know it, we have a stack of these things in our life. And that's where a lot of our time and energy is going. So I want you to do a full energy and task inventory of your life. And I guarantee you, you will get time back and energy back. A lot of the shit we don't have to do. We've just kind of been on autopilot. Third thing, paying for top tier support and not wasting time with the cheap shit. Before I was rich, I would always look for something that's like cheap or free. And not to say you don't want to take advantage of free resources. You're listening to a free resource right now. But that can't be all you do and expect to have rich people results. And I would always try to look for like a simpler way, a hacky way, a cheaper way. And what rich people do differently is we look for the best way. And if the best costs money and if the best takes a little more time up front, then we go with the best. Not the fastest, not always the easiest, not always the cheapest, because that ends up costing so much more in the long run. So again, FMA from my ass. Example, this laptop that I am broadcasting live from right here on my bed. When I buy a piece of technology, I buy the best of the best that's available at the time, whether it's a phone, it's a laptop, it's a microphone. In late 2013, I got this laptop from Apple. I got the blow it out your ass, most memory, most RAM, most all the things. Okay. Even when the guy was like, well, you're not a graphic designer. This is overkill. You're not a film editor. You don't need all this. I don't care. I want it. That's 2023. Isn't that 10 years? And I'm still using this and have made millions and millions of dollars from it because I got the best. It would have been outdated. It wouldn't have been able to serve all the functionality that has occurred between 2013 and now. So think about that. Same when it comes with phones, right? Like I will get a new phone if the new camera is that much more amazing, but I get the tops of the tops. So initially it can feel like you're spending more money, but in the long term, you end up saving a lot more money. So I want you to start looking at things that way. And you can go, oh, that's easy for you to say, Tiffany, you have expendable income. Well, I didn't always have that. Right. Even with getting my nails done, I'm always into getting my nails done. I have the new strawberry milk trend right now. You can see on YouTube. I'm obsessed. Aren't these cute? I needed to get a neutral color for my photo shoot. You always want to do neutrals on nails for photo shoots. Anyway, so nails. There's 100 places in Los Angeles I could go that'd be cheaper than where I go. And they'd look decent. And I've done it. When I first got this beach house, when I came down here a couple of years ago, I didn't have my normal nail guy. So I had to go find new people. And yeah, I tried other people. I pay about 20% more than the average person would ever fucking pay for nails. But you want to know what? I only have to get them done once every 3 to 3.5 weeks, and they still look great. Versus getting them done on the cheap, they start looking janky for sure at 2. So I end up actually saving money. And it feels good because I know how good they look and they last. So I want you to start looking at things like that in your life. Whether it is learning from me and coming into my posse, like you could go, oh, well, I saw another business coach and she has a membership and it's $17 a month. So I should do that. Okay. Well, if you feel called to do that, but there's a reason I have mine priced. It's $3.33 a day. This isn't like breaking the bank, but I have mine priced at how it's priced for a certain reason because you deserve the best and you're going to get it. And in order to get the best and high quality, yeah, there's an investment involved, right? There's definitely my in-person mastermind experience. Like what you learn there will pay off in the tens and tens and tens, even millions of dollars, quite frankly, for many years to come. So you're only investing a small fraction up front to get all of that. So it's just a shift in how you start looking at things. I mean, even the glasses I'm wearing right now, these are Tom Ford's. There's a ton of cheap ass glasses. I could get fucking glasses. I have this great vision insurance. I could go get a free pair of $40 frames from, I don't know, Costco or Walmart. But I've had these frames now. I don't know. I think I've had them 3 years. First of all, I love them. So I actually wear them. They make me feel abundant. I think they're cool and fashionable, and they're high quality. So they last, and the lenses haven't gotten scratched. They're in great quality. They look brand new. I think that's worth it, right? And there's a joy factor in there too. So you want to pay for the best. And yeah, to learn from the best, it's going to cost you money. But what is it going to cost you continue learning from less than the best? I've done a lot of those investments, wasted a ton of time, energy, and money. Fourth thing, 70% of your efforts and resources need to be spent on getting visibility and marketing for your business, period, end of story. Whether you have a personal brand, whether you have a restaurant, whether you have a jewelry line, whether you have an e-commerce store, whether you're a coach, whether you're a realtor, whether you're an author. What's sad is so many people, even music artists, have incredible songs, incredible products, incredible talents, incredible services, incredible offers, and have great heart and are of high integrity. And then they look around at other people or lawyers or other people in similar professions, and they're like, why are all these people buying from them? This person's full of shit. They don't have the experience that I have. This person's this person's that. I don't understand. Guaranteed that person or brand or company is putting a ton of focus into marketing their stuff. And if people don't know who you are and don't know you exist, you're not going to be able to sell to anybody. This is all the nature of any kind of business. Someone has to know you exist, and trust and rapport has to be built for people to buy from you. So if you are not getting in front of the eyes of your ideal client and you're not getting in front of them repeatedly for them to build that like, no trust factor, it's not going to convert into sales, or it's going to take so long. Your conversion from when someone first discovers you to buying from you is taking too long. And it takes so long, and then you're not making the money that you want to make from your business, or the people aren't signing up for your programs or offers or buying your shit. And then you start feeling discouraged. You start taking your foot off the gas, and then businesses fail. 70% of your efforts need to be on marketing and sales, any profession, any type of business, period, end of story. This is why I focus 70% of my material in all of my programs, in my Posse membership, in my mastermind, in my signature program, Selling with Soul, that I only do once a year, in my private coaching, and all the things. This is why, because this is what's going to get you the fresh cash. And what's the other 30%? Yeah, of course, coming up, packaging your offers, all of that stuff. But like, people get so caught up in shit that doesn't matter. And I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. It's secondary. Think about all the shitty products out there that make a shit ton of money, like the fucking Snuggie and the Shake Weight. Why? Incredible marketing. Now, I'm not wanting you to create a shitty product or service, but it does prove the point. Haven't you gone to see a movie that everyone, like, look at the Barbie movie? I've not seen it. I don't know why. I don't want to see it. I'm not saying I won't see it. I don't know why I don't want to see it. I'm annoyed by it now. I just don't want to see it, as I'm wearing Barbie pink on YouTube. Thank you. But I know a lot of people, there's a lot of hype, and then they were like, it wasn't really that good. Well, they still made money off you. right? And I'm not saying you want to bait and switch people like that, but there's a lot of stuff, think about it, that you've bought where you're like, oh my God, I have to get that book. I have to buy that course. I have to get that shirt. I've got to get like the shit I buy off TikTok. I bought an $18 plastic pill case. It probably cost $1.50 to make. They're doing incredible video marketing for it on TikTok. I've never used it. It's sitting in a drawer. It likely won't ever be used. But they got me to buy it, right? So keep that in mind. You probably have the reverse going on where you're 70% of the time thinking about what should be in my offer? How much should it be priced? What do I even say in this video? What do I write in this caption? Should I do hashtags? What platform should I use? And instead of going, how can I get in front of the eyes of my ideal client and keep their eyes on my stuff? What can I do? How can I learn to get better and better at profitable marketing? That's what you get out of my posse. That's the goal. Seriously, right fucking there. So go to projectmewithtiffany.com/projectme posse. My birthday bonus sale is ending soon. You can swipe up. The links in the show notes, in the description on YouTube as well. Can't wait for the next episode on Rich People's Best Kept Secrets, where we are going deeper and further into other categories. This was money, but they all work together. So if you love this, share this with someone who comes to mind for this series. Don't forget, go leave that written Apple podcast review so you can get my work less while making more printable guided workbook course, and wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.